No, we do this every year. Every year you try and steal it. Hello, my name is Ashley with Ashley's Reads on Twitter, or A Fiction and Fantasy on Instagram and TikTok. And this is Caroline. And today we are going to tell you about the 5 readathons that I made. A very terrible decision of participating in. Thank you. Caroline says she approves though, although she's very bored and she wants to be paid more. Is that right? You can't tell, but there's actually another Labrador below us. So, he just can't fit onto the chair. Sorry, Jack. Most of these are not month long, so that is working out in my favor, but most of these are run by my friends, and I am a type 3 wing 2 on the Enneagram, which means that I will sign up to do everything because of FOMO and because I want to see my friends succeed. So here we are. 3 of these readathons I have a set TBR for, and I will tell you those and show you the books. But 2 of these readathons, one is at the end of the month, so I don't know what books I will have done in time, so I will make a TBR for that later in the month. And one of them, I'm going to sort of mood read. I know that's unheard of on this channel, and it will be mood reading from specific kinds of books. So I don't know if that counts, but I'm living on the edge this month, guys. I also have more aesthetics and more props than I do books for this video, which is very strange. Okay, so let's get into the first readathon, which I am helping to be a team leader of. And this one, I feel like it is fairly obvious, judging by my Valor hat, my Pikachu, yes, the Pikachu, my Eevee, my little Pikachu, and that might be it. I need to get an Eevee, pop. I will take this hat off and have horrible hat hair later, so just forewarning you all. So, buy all of the Pokemon stuff. Jack just brought a ball. Okay, so gotta catch them all, but like Labrador edition. If I were to go home for Christmas, we would have all 3 colors. So my family has indeed caught all of the Labradors. Hi, Jack. So the first readathon that I'm going to tell you about is Pokemonathon. I am so excited for this readathon. Like I just mentioned, I've mentioned this in multiple videos, but I have grown up on Pokemon and I have not played most of the games. I started on the Game Boy Color and I think that's still pretty much where I'm at, so I'm restarting on Pokemon Blue. But I grew up on like the trading card events and hustling adults out of their cards because I was only 6, and my dad runs like the local Pokemon Go Facebook groups and things like that. This is a very, very important thing to my family, and Michael and I used to go on dates playing Pokemon Go, so that was really fun too. The Pokemonathon is running from November 1st through 18th, and it is hosted and created by the lovely Jane, so please check out her channel below. I'm going to mention a bunch of people today, and you can find them all below. This readathon, there are 3 teams. It is the fire type team, the water type team, and the grass type team. I asked you guys what type you saw me as, and I'm very behind on comments, but I did see someone say that I reminded them of a fairy type Pokemon, and that is adorable, and I love that. So thank you so much, you made my day. But for this, out of the 3 teams, as you can probably guess by my aesthetic and my colors, our colors. Yeah, Caroline is wearing Jack's collar today so that she can fit in the video better. But I am co-leading the fire team with my friend Esme, who you will hear more about below. And so I'm very, very excited. Jane has put so much work into this readathon. There are so many details, and I cannot even begin to explain to you all of the different like sub challenges in the readathon because she did such an amazing job. So definitely check out the Twitter if you would like to participate. I will be going over what I am reading for this readathon for 2 of the 3 categories, and I'll explain why as I go. So there are a bunch of gyms. I want to say 8, but I could be wrong. I did not put these by gym but by book because you can double up. So the first book that I will be reading is called the Himawari House. I probably will butcher all the pronunciations on everything on this video. I'm so sorry. I can spell, but I cannot pronounce. I will be reading Himawari House by Harmony Becker, and this is added to my TBR yesterday. I applied for a tour with Turn the Page Tours, and I received an email with an ARC of the book and letting me know that it was on its way in the mail, so it will not make it in this video. I didn't get a letter telling me I'm on the tour yet, but I'm assuming that that's why I randomly got the ARC. So I think thank you in advance to Turn the Page Tours and First Second. I really appreciate that you guys somehow, the universe told you that I was doing this video today and you knew to send me the book so that I could get it on my prompt list in time. Thank you. This book is about 3 foreign exchange students who I believe all moved to Japan, and they are living in a sort of like, not co-ed house, it's like a shared apartment, a shared flat together, and I think that they are complete strangers. And so I put this in the rock gym prompt because each gym has 2 prompt options, so I'm just going to tell you the one that I picked. But the prompt that I picked for rock is a heavy book. So I picked this because it is a graphic novel and it's over 300 pages. So I don't read graphic novels a lot, and I'm used to like little comic book sized graphic novels. So that seemed heavy physically to me, and it may be heavy emotionally because it deals as well, I think it's contemporary. They are all moving to somewhere with complete strangers, and I believe at least some of them have never been to Japan, and there may be some sort of like language barrier. So there may be some sort of heavy emotional topics dealt with in this video as far as like moving and going to a country that you've never been to before, living with complete strangers, kind of coming of age. As someone who has moved every few years since I was 17 and doesn't really have roots anywhere and never knows where to say that I'm from when people ask me, I am very excited to read this book, even if it is heavy emotionally. I also picked this for the ice gym prompt because this slipped my mind. We came up with some really funny prompts. I'm really proud of us all. Thank you to First Second and Turn the Page Tours, if I didn't say that already. The next book that I will be reading is Queen of the Blazing Throne by Claire Legrand. This is book 2.5 in the Furyborn series, which I am sort of buddy reading with my friend Megan, who I will also mention later in this video. This one I picked for the grass type gym because it is light. It's an ebook, so not physically, but light in the amount of pages that it has. I think it's like 50 to 60 something in pages. It's only a novella about a minor character. And I also put this for electric because it is an ebook prompt. And the electric gym prompt because it's an ebook. The next one that I will be reading is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Brigid Kemmerer. This is book 3, I believe the final book in a trilogy of A Curse So Dark and Lonely. And this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I don't really like Beauty and the Beast, so I was surprised that I liked this series as much as I did. This one I am using for the fighting gym prompt because it involves enemies to lovers. This has, I believe, multiple, at least 2 pairs of enemies to lovers in different contexts. I don't really love either one of them. Actually, I had a romance that I really wanted in this book and that I was really teased. And I don't think it's going to happen in this book, so I've been procrastinating it for like a year since I pre-ordered it. I also put it as the Ghost Gym prompt because it is supernatural, because the prince turned into a beast. I think that there may be other supernatural elements as well, but it's been a very long time since I read this series, so I can't tell you that for sure. It's a lot harder to grab books when you have a Labrador sitting on you. This next one is Love People Use Things by the Minimalists. They have names. Thank you to Bookish First and to Celadon Books for a copy of this. I have put this one under the Water Gym prompt, under Makes You Cry. Not because I think this book will make me cry for moving me emotionally, but because I so severely do not want to read this book, but I feel obligated because I want it with Bookish First, and I owe them a review, and it's been a long time. but I have no desire to read it, and I'm not going to trash talk this book any more than I already have in my previous videos. Final gym. Oh my goodness, we can do this. Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. Oh, the last book was about minimalism. That's it, whatever. This one is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. I will be reading this for the Steel Gym prompt because I think it will be a 5-star read, and I really hope so. Oh, the lighting is... It's from the library, so the reflective case is really ruining it. There we go. But yes, so I am very, very excited for this one. And oh, it's purple. That's awesome. I'm very excited for this one. I know almost nothing about it, except that I believe in the beginning there are 2 sisters, and the main character is one of them. The other sister dies, and the main character, whose name I can't remember, it's like, is it Elise? I have no idea. It's not on the back. She essentially makes a deal with a prince of hell because she's trying to get her sister back, or trying to get revenge on who killed her sister. I am not entirely sure, but I am so excited to read this. That is it for the gym prompts. Let's move on to the team prompts. Left 1/3 of the way into the video. What am I paying you for?
Why do you make her sound like a 4?
Come here. Oh, thank goodness. I have told you all of the gym prompts. The next prompts are specifically for your team, and these are optional, but of course I hate myself, so I have already put prompts for each of these. And my prompt notebook is on the floor now, so I'm gonna tell you based on what I think they were. Sidebar, I am a rep for Chasing Brie Designs, and Brie has made an entire set, and it's showing terribly with the ring light, but she has made an entire set of Evolution bookmarks and the regular Eevee as well, and you can find those on her website. And if you use Ashley10, my name, then the number 10, you can get 10% off on your Evolution bookmarks. Sidebar over. The first team prompt is to read a book where the cover is your team color. And so for this one, our team color is red. So I will be doubling up again, basically tripling up at this point, and reading A Vow So Bold and Deadly. And the next one, I will be reading the same book for the remaining 2 prompts. Those are, let's think. One of them is for the book to have a fire word in it. So I found a book where the word fire is literally in the title. And the next prompt was for the book to have a hot or desert setting. So I found the word desert in the synopsis description. I will be reading The Boy with Fire by Aparna Verma. And this book, I believe it was compared to The Poppy War in the synopsis, but that means absolutely nothing to me because I have not read The Poppy War yet. And I know that it has fire in the title and that it is set in a desert, and that is about it. I did receive an ARC of this through NetGalley from New Degree Press, but it archived early, so I did not download it in time. So I have to go purchase the copy, and it will hopefully be here in the very near future. I'm probably going to order it on the 1st, and hopefully I will know more about it by then. But it is probably the chunkiest book on here, so unless my Twitter poll voters choose it, it will be the last one that I start. I think it's around 400 to 500 pages, so not really ideal for a 2.5 week readathon, but here we are anyway. The final prompt for the Pokemonathon is also optional, and it's just a random side prompt challenge. That is to read a book that has an animal or features an animal. I don't know whether that's in the cover or in the book or anything like that. I don't know enough about any of these books to tell you if there is an animal featured. If there is an animal featured in them, so I will let you know later if any of these fulfill that prompt. Otherwise, I'm skipping it. That is it for the Pokemonathon, in which I will now segue into the Desert-a-thon, which works quite well because my co-leader of the fire team, Esme, is the host of the Desert-a-thon, and this is my 2nd time taking part in the Desert-a-thon. And the Eevee still works perfectly because it looks so much like the mascot from last year's graphic, and I am so excited. It works out perfectly. If you guys couldn't tell, I am obsessed with Eevees. There are only 5 prompts for the Desert-a-thon, but this readathon is from the 1st to the 14th. I will definitely not finish all of these books for either of these readathons. I will be lucky to read one, but I will use these books to read throughout November. So just a heads up if you guys thought I was going to read all of these in time. These prompts coincide quite well with the fire team. So the first one is to read a book with a red cover. So again, I will be reading, that's upside down. I will be reading A Vow So Bold and Deadly. And the next one is to read a book involving a journey. So for this one, I will again be reading Love People Use Things. This works because it is a self-journey towards minimalism, and also because this book will take a journey to the thrift store when I'm done. The next one is a cozy prompt. For this one, I picked Himawari House because it is a contemporary book, and to me, when I read contemporaries, they are usually like cozy. There is a lot less death and sacrifice and gore than my usual books. So I am excited for that one, and I also just think the prospect of starting a new life and having like 2 brand new friends slash roomies does seem really cozy, even if maybe it won't play out like that because I have no idea. The 4th prompt is something involving magic. So for this one, I have picked Queen of the Blazing Throne. That whole trilogy of Furyborn does involve heavily magic and the use of magic, like elemental magic, magic of angels. And this book or novella, I believe it's based on a minor character from the 2nd book. So I won't say who they are or how we met them because I don't want to spoil Kingsbane. But this one, I believe this character is somewhat related to the angels and is like a descendant of the angels and does have some sort of magical power, if that's the character I'm thinking of. The final Desert-a-thon prompt is to be set in the desert, and for this one I will be reading The Boy with Fire. I believe it is set in India and it says desert in the synopsis. That is it for the Desert-a-thon. That worked out so perfectly for me. None of those books were different than what I was reading for the Pokemonathon. I will read as many of those as I can, and like I said, I will probably make polls on Twitter to decide which ones of those I will attempt to read first. Although I know I'm starting Kingdom of the Wicked and Himawari House because I have to for a buddy read. I say that like I don't want to. I'm so happy to read Kingdom of the Wicked. And it's also a library book. And Himawari House is for a book tour that's on the 8th, so I need to start reading that, like, again, immediately. Desert-a-thon is over. I'm going to now take off my Pokemon gear. When I was getting ready to film this, I was trying to decide what sort of vibes I wanted to go with, and I was thinking like I would do red for the fire team and for Desert-a-thon with the red cover, and then I was trying to think of how I could use my other readathons, which are Descendathon, Squash That Serious Challenge, and Clear Your Shit. So I was thinking, how do I look Disney-ish, also like I am in hell, like in the Clear Your Shit readathon, which is where we are starting in the afterlife. I was trying to figure out how to blend all of those, and I figured the next readathon I'm going to tell you about is the Descendathon, which has a lot of hosts, but I know one of them is named Megan because I found out about it from my friend Megan's YouTube channel. And I absolutely love the Descendants. I have Eevee, who is the daughter of the evil queen from Snow White. We do not know her father. So I chose to be on the villain kids team. So I thought I should try and look like a villain. So when I was doing my makeup, I decided to use my Colourpop Villains palette, Misunderstood. And I thought that was perfect. And I was watching a YouTube tutorial for Disney villains, and they were doing Cruella de Vil. So I did a very, very vague red vibes for Cruella de Vil. I have not seen that movie yet though, so. I have 4 prompts for the villain kids, and there are 4 prompts for the Ardon kids. I've chosen to do 4 for the villain kids. I don't know if we were supposed to do all 8, but I'm only doing 4. Oh yes, I have to pull this down. There we go. That's so villainy, right? Each prompt is based on the character's from the movie Descendants, which is also a book series. And this is very interesting because the book series is set like in between the movies. And it's very, very interesting. There's also a cartoon TV show. That's the only one that I haven't seen yet, but I'm so into the show for being an adult. Evie is one of my favorite Disney characters. I love Sophia Carson, and I'm so excited to take part in this readathon. The first prompt is based on Mal, who is the daughter of the villain from Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent. There we go. And for this prompt, it is to read a book where the main character is a villain or morally gray, because Mal is morally gray, and I guess all of the villains to some degree are. So for this one, I will be reading Rise of the Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz. This is book 3 in the Descendants novel, and the main character is Mal, so that works perfectly. I actually don't like Mel very much, but I think in this one we'll get to meet some of the ocean-y kids. I can't remember. Is it the daughter of Ursula, Uma? And then there's Gil and Harry. I think Harry is the son of Captain Hook, and I don't know who Gil is the son of. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the second prompt is Carlos, and that is to read a book with disability rep. This is because the actor who played Carlos, Cameron Boyce, recently passed away, and I believe that his cause of death was related to his epilepsy, and so this is in respect of him. And I'm sorry, I've made myself very sad. So for this prompt, I will be reading A Vow So Bold and Deadly. The main character of the first book is, what is her name? Harper? I think her name is Harper. And she has cerebral palsy. So she is still a main character in this book, I believe. And I will be reading this one to fulfill that prompt. Oh, and Carlos is the son of Cruella de Vil, actually. For the Evie prompt, who is the daughter of the evil queen from Snow White, I will be reading a book that fits the prompt, not just a pretty cover. So for this one, I will be reading Queen of the Blazing Throne by Claire Legrand again, because this cover is basically non-existent. They just kind of threw some sparks of flame on it, and that's it. But I expect that it will be really good, like all of the other books have been. For the fourth one, it is Jay, who is the son of Jafar from Aladdin. This prompt is to read a book featuring thievery or a heist. So for this one, I will be reading Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. This book is a retelling of Goose Girl, and it is based, I believe, on Russian mythology or Russian folklore. I don't know much about this book, but I am very excited. I believe this is Margaret's debut novel, and I think she is a hilarious person. We both finished Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson before it came out, and we're freaking out over this cliffhanger at the end, or like a loose plot, an untied plot twist. And it was great, and I'm so excited to read her book. And thank you to NetGalley and Henry Holt and Company for an arc of this book. It's already come out. I'm just very late at reading it, like I am with everything else, but thank you guys. I'm so hyped. So that is it for the Descendathon series. As I briefly mentioned, I will also be taking part in the Squash That Series challenge hosted by the lovely Bailey and the lovely Kayla, whose channels will also be down below. And for this one, the goal is just to read sequels. So the reason that I am not picking my TBR for this yet is because this readathon is towards the end of the month. And so like the Queen of the Blazing Throne, I think that's what it's called, the Furyborn book is a sequel, and some of the other ones like the Descendants book are a sequel, A Vow So Bold and Deadly is a sequel. But while they may fit the prompts now, like oldest sequel or newest sequel, things like that, if I read these before the readathon even starts, then I will have a completely different book that fits that prompt. And I don't know what I will read in the Desertathon and Pokemonathon in time. So I will make a follow-up like weekend vlog for that one. And then the Clear Your Shit readathon is the final and longest readathon. So that one takes part takes place, why do I keep saying that? That one takes place from November 1st through December 31st. And there are 24 prompts, and you can skip whatever you want. You can read optional group reads or anything like that. But it has to be books that you own. Library books do count. So what I am planning on doing, I had filled out all the prompts and then I erased all of them. I'm going to read all of the books that I've listed below to the best of my ability. And if I make it through all of those, I will mood read for December, but only from arcs, sequels, book club reads, or buddy reads. So I could really cheat and be like, hey Jamie, there's this new series I want to start it with me. And if she owns the book, I could start it, but I'm going to try not to do that. I'm going to try to be good. But that's essentially what we're doing. Like Kingdom of the Wicked, I'm buddy reading with my friend Laura, and it's a library book, so it counts. So I will do all of that, and I know what readathon I'm doing for December, but I will not make prompts for that yet because I can't focus on that when I'm doing 5 readathons. So maybe I'll pick Clear Your Throat prompts for December once I get these out of the way to fill like whatever is left in the prompts. I have no idea, but I am excited because that is round 2 and I've taken part in round 1 and 1.5 of the Clear Your Throat readathon, and that's hosted by Mouse and Elle, and they're just a great time and it's so funny, and I love like the narrator character and the way that the readathon is set up. So I'm excited to take part in that, and I'm just gonna write in as I go what prompts I fill out. We have made it to the end. Can you believe I have so little books for 5 readathons? Like, this is great for me. I'm pretty proud of myself. And now I'm going to try and struggle my way through my 6 remaining October books, many of which are very chunky. And I'm going to first make stir fry and have a glass of wine and have a very relaxing weekend because it's been a very long week. But I hope that you guys have had a great time with your October readathons. Please tell me what you are most excited to take part in November, whether it is a readathon or a challenge you have or a buddy read or a book club pick. Just let me know what you're hyped about for November. And if you have made it all the way through this, please leave some sort of fire or desert emoji. Bye guys.